So today we're gonna learn how to create your first game using GameSalad. Okay, we're gonna start by creating and working with scenes. So we're gonna open a GameSalad and click blank project. Okay, and then we are going to click on the button called create. The first thing that we're gonna do is we're going to enter a title. So I'm gonna name it. You can name it your first project or my first game, whatever you want. Okay. Then we're going to choose a platform. Basically, platform is what you want to, which device that you're going to be using when you're playing the game, right? So I'm going to be choosing an iPad landscape because I like it because it's kind of like it gives it like a big screen. Okay. You can always change it, but if you change, you always have to make sure that you resize everything. Okay. Then you're going to add a description. Descriptions is basically what people are going to find what your game is about. Okay. When you type your instructions, is basically you're telling people like what to do. The description and the tags are important when you are publishing a game. Okay, tags are very important because tags are going to help you kind of like publicize your video. Okay, a tag are simple words that people are going to use when they're actually googling your video game. Okay. So as you can see, I wrote template and then collision because my game is going to be a collision game. Okay. Then we're going to move to scenes. As I said the other day, scenes is basically every single screen that you are going to see in your game. So you can change the name. So I changed mine to welcome page. And if you click like the plus button on the sign on the bottom of the page, you can add different scenes. Okay. Remember, you can rename every single scene. You can also copy and paste scenes like this. For example, when you are creating like a different like a level games, you can create one level game and then you can copy the scenes every single time. So go ahead and start creating scenes the same as I'm doing. So you can see I'm showing you in here how to basically copy and paste different scenes. You can also delete scenes, okay? Okay, so basically that's just how to create different things. Now we're going to move to create and work with actors. Okay, so actors basically is everything that you are going to see within any screen or within a scene. Okay, so if you click on the tab actors, right now you see there's nothing, that is all empty. So if you click the plus button on the bottom of the page, is when you can start adding different actors. As the same with scenes, you can always rename every single actor with a name that you want, and you can also copy and paste actors. Okay, just remember to, one of the things that I will always kind of like advise you to do is when you are creating an actor, name it properly. So for example, I just created the instruction button, so call it instruction button, because like this later on when you have like 50 or 60 different actors, you know exactly which actor you want to use. Okay, so let's gonna create some more buttons. So I did like a welcome, instruction button, a play button. I'm gonna create also like a instruction text. I'm gonna create then like an object called object 1, and then another one that is actually called object 2. Okay, so as you can see, object 1 and object 2 are kind of like the ones that I'm going to be using actually to play. The buttons will be buttons. The text will be what a text like the instructions. Okay, and the last one, the game over, it's going to be like a game over text. So as you can imagine, I will put there like a text that says, "Hey, game over." and I'm going to create one more. That's going to be called restart button. Okay, so you can see it's going to be a button that when I click it, it will restart the game. So remember, you can always add and delete actors from this page. If you click back on scene, okay, now basically what you can see is that all the actors will appear in there, and you can also add or delete actors from here. Okay, so we're going to work a little bit with actors. If you double click on the name, as you can see, we're going to move into the kind of like the actor page. In the actor page, you can change the attributes of an actor. Okay, so you can change the name. Sometimes the actors have time, the position, the size, the rotation, the image, the color. There are lots of different things that you can always customize with your actors. I like to use tags. Tags, basically the same as in the game, are simple words that tell us kind of like ideas of what this actor is about. Okay. You can also add attributes. We will be talking about how to add different attributes later on, okay? At the bottom of the page, you're going to see that they're like what we call behaviors. Behaviors is basically all the different actions that an actor can do during a game, okay? So for example, like the first one that I'm going to add is I want that this actor display a text, okay? So I'm going to type, hey, welcome to my game. As it's a text, you can always change the font, the size, the color, the alignment. You can grab it inside an actor, okay? So it's kind of like very simple to use. Okay, so I chose like a color, and now basically if I go back to scene on the welcome page, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drag the text into my scene. Okay, so we have like a text called welcome, okay, and then I can just basically place it everywhere. If you press preview, you're going to see that you will see it on your scene. So as you can see right now is welcome to my game, but there's like a white square in the middle. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna basically make sure that we edit the actor bag, and we're gonna get rid of this white square. Okay, so we can go back to the scene page, click on the actor. Okay, the color in here is the color of the text, but that's the color like in here, the color that I want to get rid of. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the opacity. Okay, basically means we're going to make it transparent. Okay, so there's like the white box is not there anymore. So as you can see now, I'm going to hit preview on the top of the page, and now we don't see the square anymore. Okay, so what we're going to be doing next, okay, is basically we're going to continue working a little bit with all the different buttons that we have in our game. Okay, so we're going to be basically start transforming some of the buttons and giving them like jobs to do. So you can see also like we can resize and move actors whenever we want. Okay. Right. So as you can see, I just placed the main actor on the top of my page. Okay. You can see that this little like red cross in the middle that symbolizes the center of the screen. Okay. So now you can see that the welcome to my game is kind of like on the top part. Okay. So let's gonna continue editing buttons. Okay, so now we're gonna continue editing what is like the instruction button. We're gonna double click in here, And basically what we're going to do is kind of like the same steps as we did before. Okay, so we're going to add a text. We're going to name the tag, so we're going to change into instruction, or like instructions. I'm going to click the box grab inside the actor, okay? And you will see later on what this box is going to do to the text. I'm going to change the color, and also I'm going to change the color of the actor. So I'm going to choose like a nice, kind of like a nice purple color. And I'm going to change the opacity. I'm going to put like a 70%. I'm going to have it like a, so like this. It looks kind of like the background, kind of like a fade away. So now I'm going to go back home. Okay, so as you can see that my instruction button now is with a color, and I'm going to just basically drag it into the scene. As I said before, you can always place it whenever you want, okay? And now when you hit preview, so you can see now the instruction, like the words are inside the actor. So I'm going to change that. So I'm going to go to the bottom of the page and click the edit button. And one of the things that you can do is, as I said before, you can resize your actor, right? So you can make it a little bit long and a bit narrow, so it looks kind of like in a button shape. And then I'm going to place a little bit on the right side of the computer, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a rule. Basically, a rule is something that it's an action that your actor is going to do when you do something to the actor. So for example, when the actor receives an event, which it can be like the mouse is placed somewhere, or you can touch it, or overlaps or collides with another action, with another actor, sorry, something is happening. So I'm going to basically put like, when the actor receives a touch basically means like you can click with the button, or if you're using like an iPad, for example, that when you touch it. And I'm gonna touch when it's inside, okay? You have different options, like if you touch outside, or if it's pressed and released, that they do some different actions, okay? So when my actor receives an event, so when I touch it inside, what I want to do is I want to change the scene. So I want to change to scene to call instructions, because it is the instruction button. Okay. One of the things that I like to do is always name all my rules. The reason why I like to name all my rules is because I always want to know which rule I'm actually working with, because sometimes actors have a lot of different rules. Okay. You can move rules up and down depending on how important the rules are into in one object. And sometimes rules can be very complicated. So you can have like a rule that says if you touch it in here, but you have 25 points, you do that. If you touch it but you have less than a certain amount of points, it does something different. Okay, so you can always customize your rules as you want. So if I hit preview, okay, what I'm going to do now is if I touch, I click, now it changes to the instructions. You can see that I changed to the instruction scene because on the bottom of the page now instruction is blue. Okay. Great. So what we're going to do now is basically do the same with the play button. Okay, so we're gonna basically add some text, change the color, okay, and create the rule as we did before. Okay, so remember the first, yeah, we're gonna display the text, So I'm gonna type play button or play. I'm gonna add a color, and I'm actually gonna add a color for the button, okay? And as I said, I always like to have all the buttons kind of like look the same, okay, look similar. Like this, it gives the like the game kind of like a nice identity, like a nice style. Great, so now we're going to create a rule. So remember, when the actor receives a touch and the touch is inside, I want to change the scene.